Blutanalyse. Vergleich A. Vergleich B. Zack. Und stimmt wieder.
That would be a big bingo. Assailant definitely wore this robe during the murder.
Amita. Ach, Amita. So, Vergleich A. Vergleich B.
This fabric's definitely part of the robe.
Und was haben wir noch? Was haben wir noch? Haben wir hier noch was? Ja. Schauen wir nochmal schnell in die Beweise rein. Hier haben wir überall ein Häkchen. Hier haben wir überall ein Häkchen. Und hier haben wir, außer beim Schraubenzieher, da haben wir noch kein Häkchen. Was hat auch der Schraubenzieher jetzt damit zu tun? Gibt doch überhaupt keine Schraubenzieherverletzung. Schauplätze. Aber Poolhaus ist auch noch nicht erledigt. Da dürfen wir aber auch noch nicht überall hingreifen. Gut. Haben Sie Visa wegen Dr. Divans Betrug kontaktiert?
I called Visa. Good folks over there. And they said Visa's continuous monitoring program detected suspicious activity. Mr. Dwan was changing the shipping address, sending items to his home and back to India. Not your model employee.
Verstehe. So, für Amita.
Widow Banderit's been lying from the start, maybe covering up for her little girl. Let's get her in here.
Mrs. Banderit, we found a robe in your pool house covered in your husband's blood. Spatter found on the robe is consistent with someone at the scene when your husband was killed, not with contact with the body after the fact. Your daughter was at the crime scene, and we believe she may have worn your robe when she killed your husband.
She did no such thing. I did.
Glaube ich nicht. Sie gestehen den Mord an ihrem Mann, Mrs. Banderit.
I am not about to let you make the wrong assumptions and persecute, much less prosecute, my daughter. Arya has been through quite enough. Thank you. You've talked to people. Surely by now you know what a cold, controlling monster my husband was. And as his wife, I accepted this. But for my lovely daughter, life must be different. She was born here, left home to go to school. And yet, still he tries to control her, manipulating her into an occupation pleasing to him, forcing her to work for him. Adia seemed content with these choices, however pushed upon her they might have been. But when Prayat insisted, no, demanded, Adia marry a man she did not love, a man with the same old-fashioned notions that would mean disrespect and a slavery of sorts for my precious girl. And then, when he threatened to separate Adia from myself, I had no choice but to stop him. What mother wouldn't? And so I killed him. I put him out of our misery. When I learned that that foul snake Adash was in your custody, I thought his karma had caught up with him. But when you begin to suspect my daughter, my innocent child, I must come forward. Jaya will be a small payment for a life of freedom for Adia.
Man, nothing like a confession to make a CSI's day. Even at night.
Hold up. Problem. Daughter's just confessed to the same murder Mommy did. Adia Banderit is in the interview room. Talk to her.
Oh Gott, bitte. Das war doch klar, oder? Gibt es sonst noch etwas, das Sie uns mitteilen möchten, Mrs. Banderit?
I just heard that my mother confessed. She's trying to take the blame from me. Surely you can see that. that she's sacrificing herself for me.
Still hazy. Why don't you clear it up?
I did it, obviously. I swear. I wore the robe, killed my father. You've gotten the picture, right? How horrible he was to her? She was chattel. That sexist traditional nonsense was bad enough, but then his pride robbed her of her very eyesight. He was gonna separate Mother and me if I didn't marry that pathetic weasel. I couldn't stand for that. For any of it. I killed him. I killed him. I'd kill him again if I could. Arrest me. Let my poor sweet mother go.
Not that simple. Both you and Mom have motive and opportunity. But one of you is lying.
Was machen wir denn jetzt?
So you have two confessions. One murderer and one liar. What's your next step?
When in doubt, go back to the evidence. Only I'm not finding anything conclusive here. Both the mother and daughter have motive. Either one of them could have worn the robe. Both were linked to the victim's blood. I just can't find anything that points to either of them conclusively.
German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, "Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world." It's possible you're letting your own perspective blind you to the evidence.
Are you seeing something that we're not?
Not from here. Go back to the scene of the crime. Put yourself in the killer's place. And remember, even the best of us can miss important evidence sometimes.
Ich hab nicht übersehen. So blinkt das ja noch. Ah, hier. Schraubenzieher. Alles klar. Irgendwas hat's mit dem Schraubenzieher zu tun. Wir müssen... Sollen wir mal zum Tatort zurück. Aber wahrscheinlich meine ich das Poolhaus, weil das ist doch abgeschlossen hier. Hallo? Ah.
Huh. I wonder if Griss ever gets tired of being right. If I were standing where the assailant did and struck the victim, then when the weapon came back, the blood cast off would fly right, because I'm right-handed. From this position, Spatter clearly swings to the left, hitting the wall, with no swings to the right. Our killer is left-handed. Now we just have to find evidence to determine whether the lefty is mother or daughter.
Okay. Aber wir haben im Poolhaus noch irgendwas vergessen. Irgendwas mit diesem scheiß Schraubenzieher. Ah. Was steht hier alles? Zack. Kreuzworträtsel. Die Fans. Okay. Das ist aber nicht... Das ist aber nicht mit dem Schraubendreher. Irgendwas. Irgendwas hat es mit dem Schraubendreher noch auf sich. Ja, Poolhaus ist immer noch nicht abgeschlossen. Gründlichkeitspunkt. Nee. Fenster sind offen. Das hat auch nichts zu sagen. Ja. Ah. Ja, hier haben wir schon alles abgescannt. Hä? Wieso sind denn hier so komische Fenster? Achso, das sind die kleinen. Die sieht man von hier. Ach, da. Nee. Was haben wir denn hier nur vergessen? Hilfe! Was haben wir vergessen? Jetzt würde ich am liebsten auch in so eine Komplettauflösung schauen. Weil ich will nicht, dass wir sagen, du hast einen Beweis vergessen, du Otto. Nein, ich frag den nicht. Ich weiß es nicht. Irgendwas haben wir vergessen. Ich weiß nicht was. Kreuzworträtsel. Spezialsuche. So. Probe für Handschriftenanalyse vorbereiten. Na, dann suchen wir.
Based on the slants of the letters and the direction of the smudge marks, we can safely say that Mrs. Banderit is left-handed. Place settings in the daughter's kitchen indicate one is right-handed, the other left. Crossword handwriting says the mother was the definite lefty. We have our killer.
Die Mutter war's. Mutter.
Hey, what's up? She's on her way to interrogation now.
So, Amita, meine Kleine.
Your daughter also confessed to the murder of your husband, but the evidence agrees with your version.
Of course it does. She is innocent, trying to protect me.
We know, Mrs. Banderit. Your daughter is right-handed, but Mr. Banderit was killed by a left-handed person. Like yourself.
I owe you thanks. I know I said some cruel things to you before, and I am sure my daughter has done the same. But I thank you for finding the truth in this, and not allowing to stand the injustice of my daughter being blamed for my act. She should be free. She has been inside the prison my husband built for her long enough.
Irgendwie ist es trotzdem eigenartig. So ein fader Beigeschmack. Wir möchten, dass Sie Ihr Geständnis zurückziehen, Mrs. Banderit.
No, I won't. I told you. I explained it. Weren't you listening? I killed my father, and I'd do it again.
Maybe you would do it again if you had the chance. Only you didn't do it in the first place. Forensics tells us your father's killer was left-handed, like your mother. You're right-handed, meaning there's little chance you could have wielded that fireplace poker. Much as it may disappoint you, Adja, you're innocent. Your mother could no longer bear her controlling husband, so she grabbed the fireplace poker and for once took charge of her own life. And his. Then she went to your house and you helped her wash off before she hid the robe at the pool house.
All right. But before you go any further, stop and think. She didn't do this for herself. She did it to protect me. All those terrible years, she never once complained, never challenged that demon. My father was the monster here, my mother the victim. To be pitied, not tried for this necessary execution.
Oha.
We did fine. Great, in fact. Nice having another sharp pair of eyes. Justice may be blind, but CSIs gotta see every detail. Check in with Gris for your evaluation.
Jetzt bin ich mal gespannt, wie viel ich noch vergessen habe.
All right, here's your evaluation. For evidence, there were a few items you didn't find, or fully process. For hints, you didn't need any at all. And, at the end of the day, you followed the evidence to a clear conclusion. I can't argue with that. Good work. You did very well, though as I noted, there's still some room to improve. I'm giving you an above-average grade. And by the way, thank you for all the new specimens you found for my collection. I'm recommending you for an extra bonus. Great hunting.
Frechheit. Ja, spannend, wie viel ich vergessen habe. Senior-Ermittler, gesammelt Beweise. 36 von 37. Ja, hat er sich aber, ne? Gesammelt in 6, 5 und 5. Jawohl. Gründlichkeitspunkte auch vergessen. Und kein Tipp. Aktuelle Wertung Senior-Ermittler. Naja, würde ich mal sagen. Juhu, juhu. Ich sage vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Das war der 4. Fall von CSI. Eindeutige Beweise. Demnächst geht es dann weiter mit dem gleichen Spiel und im letzten Fall der Peacemaker. Ich bin sehr gespannt, was da auf uns warten wird. Bis dann, sagt der Kevin. Tschüss.